Hello, and thank you for stopping by on the Therapist Poetry podcast, where we meet real people from real life and they share their real experiences with us, their real stories. We're actually about to go and meet a therapist now, so follow me and let's go meet them. Oh, I nearly forgot. If you are moved by their story, then don't forget to let them know and leave them a comment. Don't be stingy and keep all that positivity to yourself. Hello, today we're lucky to be joined by Chloe, who is a counsellor from Birmingham. And today Chloe is going to share her experience about childhood abuse and its link to domestic abuse and share a poem with us at the end as well. Welcome in, Chloe. Thank you for coming.
No, you're more than welcome. Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone. I'm a counsellor passionate about ADHD and autism. But as Ricky said, I'm here today to share a poem about my own personal experience surrounding childhood abuse, which then link to me getting into a string of domestic abuse relationships that I'm now past, but I'd like to empower others and share my experience of that. And as I said before, I had a lot of repressed memories surrounding like the abuse that I faced as a child, but I kept getting into toxic relationships and they were very damaging physical, emotional, sexual like abuse, and I had to then kind of heal through that and undertake a lot of counselling therapies, a lot of soul searching to then have memories resurface once I was finally in that safe space of my life to then acknowledge that it was actually abuse I had experienced as a child by my like stepfather in like my family home. So that's been like an eye-opening experience for me, and I'm still facing that at the moment. But I feel quite empowered that I'm here today and I'm able to kind of share that and destigmatize that and hopefully empower somebody else that it's okay to face these adversities in life, but you can get through that and that you're not defined by that experience either. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I can hear in that as well. And from our chat before that there's something about not being silent in that was really important for you as well. And also that it was repressed a little bit, which kind of leads into our first question, which is what is one thing that you wish you knew at the time?
Oh, for sure. I wish I knew the identity of the person that I ultimately was calling dad. I feel like that's like the biggest like regret because my brain was so conditioned to like the abuse that was like occurring that I actually put this person on a pedestal, and he passed away when I was about 11, and I grieved for a long period for that, and it kind of tore our family apart, and I struggled with my own mental health and had several suicide attempts and struggling with my own identity and things like this. Whereas now it's kind of put those dots together and everything's made more sense. And I feel like I wish I'd known then, but I'm in the understanding that it had to happen now because I feel like I'm in a place now where I can actually accept that. Whereas before, if I feel like if that had been piled on me at that time, maybe I wouldn't be here now. I don't know. So I think the brain does try to protect itself, and I'm in understanding of that. And my brain did a very good job. And even if all the memories don't come back, like I'm okay with that as well because I know the truth now, and that's the main thing. And it's more closing that chapter and moving forward, hopefully being able to help others now. So yeah.
That's a really important point as well. That you protected yourself. You were protecting yourself, and you weren't ready to face those things at the time. And our humans are so clever that they've got ways that they can protect themselves until they are ready. And I'm just really thankful that you're ready now to do that, and you're in a much better place.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. It is nice to say that, but I just want people to know that like healing isn't like the end point. Like you're never going to be perfect with it. It's a process. It's a step-by-step journey that you face, but in time it gets easier, basically. So yeah.
Yeah. And how did counselling help you to understand your experience?
Counselling has been like a saving grace for myself, which is why I'm so passionate about what I do because I've honestly been down every avenue of therapy and Yeah, I've had CBT, DBT, I've had positive reinforcement therapy, compassionate based therapy, psychotherapy. Like I've been down every avenue, talking therapy, but I know that without those people at those times in my life, I don't know how I would have faced those obstacles then. And they walked that journey with me and allowed me to see perspectives that I weren't able to alone. So I'm very passionate about now giving that back to people that are struggling, because some things you can't face alone, and sometimes like family and things, they can't help as much as somebody separate to the situation. So I'm a huge advocate for people talking and seeking help, because I genuinely believe that a problem shared is a problem halved. And yeah, I'm just very passionate about that. So I'm really grateful for all the like professionals that have walked that journey with me.
Yeah, and I can hear that there's a lot of different counselling modalities that you went to there as well. And I'm
I
wondering
did
which
the rounds.
I'm wondering which counselling theory um, helps you to understand the most.
I feel like attachment theory was like the biggest for me, because I saw a therapist and she said I had like an anxious attachment style.
Mhm.
And this was when I was in toxic relationships and I didn't yet know about the abuse. And then it was the first I'd actually heard about that. It was a few years ago. And I did a lot of research and I realized that that was from the childhood abuse as well. And then I was staying in relationships longer because I had a fear of people leaving me. So I was kind of putting up with their behaviours from this place of anxiety and this place of lack, because I didn't feel whole because of what had happened to me as a child. So like that was like a key thing like in my like recovery journey. And then working with a lot of young people in the care system and in like children's mental health, I then see those attachment styles too. So then coming from lived experience, it's really helped me not only like sharpen my tools at work, but also get to a place of secure attachment within myself and to trust others and let people in so that I can have a quality of life. So yeah, that was the biggest for me, I would say.
Yeah, and that really goes into your poem, doesn't it? Which is about childhood abuse and how that the links to domestic abuse as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was like the golden ticket. Sort of understanding. I was like, oh, this makes so much sense, because I think when your primary caregiver has caused you harm, that sets a norm then and a pattern that then follows. Especially, I can only speak from like a young woman's perspective, but with like the father figure role, it was then like a pattern, because like my first abusive relationship, I was 14. So that's how like crucial it is that like these things are getting caught so early, because it could have saved me like 15 years of like harm that I had to endure, and that almost led to like my death, like an assault, which I speak about in the poem. But yeah, it's just really, really important to be aware of this, because in some cases, even if there's not abuse going on, just that like absent father figure, like we need to be zooming in on the young women and giving them that support so that they're not walking that road either. So I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah, I can really hear the awareness in that and how that helps you in your role as well. And I'm aware there's a lot of negative things that impacted your experience. Would you be able to share one negative thing that negatively impacted?
To be fair, when the repressed memories first started to resurface, which has only been like the last like year, I did try to talk to certain people about it, and I was rejected in that process. And because I think it's quite a common thing with abuse that when it's a certain person that everyone believed was that person, it's hard to like break that like image. So that was really hard, because my mind was so confused, because it was like fragmented memories that were coming back. And for me to then get that strength to find my voice and say, I think this may have happened to me, that rejection was really, really difficult. But I feel like I'm a lot stronger now, and now people are listening, because I think it had to get to that point for me to be heard. And I am supported now through that. But I feel like that was a negative experience, because you don't expect that. Like you hear about it, but then when it's the other way, you're like, wow. But it's not the case now. So I'm happy about that. And that's another reason why I'm trying to use my voice as much as I can because it's taking my power back from my experience. And I just want to let people know that it is possible, even if they face that too, that somebody will listen and they can get that support and heal. So
That's great. And yeah, a big message there in really listening to people that are in your position that need to be heard and need to be encouraged not to stay silent as well.
for sure. And even with like domestic abuse, it's the similar kind of stigma. It's the shame of speaking out because you're so conditioned to the treatment that you're like, nobody will believe me. Like they really get into your mind and you're just a different person. And even when I first started to share things like that, I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people that I thought were very close to me, people that didn't believe me because oh, but he's so kind when I see him, like he's a vibe, like he's fun, he's this. But then I've also came like to my own peace with that too. But then it's again about kind of destigmatizing the shame and speaking anyway and knowing that the right people will hear you and that's okay and like they will be there. So
And what other parts of your life did your experience or experiences in this case impact?
oh my gosh, everything. But my work, like I couldn't hold a job down. I was 17. I had like an emotional breakdown just from everything. Yeah, I couldn't work. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. Affected my relationships, my home life. I was actually homeless for like a set period of time because I was acting up, but nobody knew I was acting up.
Yeah.
So, because I was so quiet about what was going on, which is nobody else's fault, but yeah, there was like so many things, like my stability, like my mental well-being, friendships, every aspect of life, my finances, that I was just in the gutter ultimately. So yeah.
And it's really important to notice for other people as well that normally if someone's playing up, there's something else going on. And for you, that was the case, that something else was going on.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like, I'm kind of happy I face that now, or at least like grateful in some regard because I have a deeper understanding of people that are going through things because for somebody that doesn't have the lived experience, they will put it down to like rudeness or like bad behavior, especially in like young adults or children. Whereas I am that person now that will dig deeper because I don't believe that there isn't something underneath that because I feel like anger covers up pain. And I feel like more people need awareness of that and patience with that because just for being patient and being there, like you can really change somebody's life and be that lifeline. So
Yeah. And we're just coming into the last question now, which is what advice would you give others experiencing domestic abuse or childhood
oh,
abuse?
yeah, I feel like the main advice I would give is take time for you. Like, don't, it's not a rush to be like the person you were before because that person doesn't exist. Like, but you will be stronger and better when you're on the other side through seeking appropriate help and by speaking your voice to people. Like, just even if your voice shakes and you're anxious and it feels alien to you, it gets easier each time. Because I was such an anxious person, like, I would never have done this years ago. Like, it's just crazy. But through that act of like repetition and kind of removing myself from toxic environments, understanding these people are there for me, these people have empathy for me, these people support me. That's allowed me to grow, and it's just to be gentle with yourself. Look, it's not your fault, you're not to blame, like you did nothing wrong, but you can still be something separate to what you've been through and find strength in your experience. That's what I would say.
A great message to end with. Thank you for sharing, Chloe. And I'm sure everyone else is really excited to hear your poem. Are you ready to share that with us?
Yes, I'm very ready. I can't wait to read it. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Ricky.
You're welcome. Over to you for your poem.
The hardest points in my life have been pivotal for my optimal growth. Painful, eye-opening, monumental. Years spent unpacking my own identity, pain, and anguish. Questions I often found myself ruminating at my lowest. What is the driving force behind me finding solace in men who find joy in picking me apart and diminishing my light? Why does love feel to me like hands and words that cause harm? Kisses became bruises, hugs became accusations, loving conversations became demanding explanations. Inhumane treatment, harm caused that almost led to my untimely death. Concussion, bruises, severed connections, warped vision of self, no voice, a mirror with cracked reflections. Funny, isn't it, how a man in a position of trust can take advantage of little girls whilst they are at their most vulnerable. Abuse covers a variety of avenues, an experience I was not yet aware was so present in my own childhood. Repressed memories begin to resurface, asphyxiating me slowly. The walls begin to close in, feeling sick to the bone. Questions arise of the real face of the man who took a firm seat in our family home. A master manipulator, an opportunist, creeping slyly into our house. An abuser who took my late father's seat, putting his feet firmly under our table, a family secret left unannounced. 15 years of pain and confusion before the truth came to light. 15 years of grieving for a man who took pleasure in the harm he could cause, relishing in his own sick delight. His sudden death, a rug pulled from beneath us, splitting our family apart. A man taken too soon, placed on a pedestal and remembered as though he was a martyr or some work of art. A raw, sickening reality, craving to see the light of day 15 years on. A man rotting in his grave, no answers possible, gone. A string of relationships filled with harm and toxicity towards a young woman at her lowest. Domestic abuse, self-loathing, a slippery slope into the pits of hell, unbeknownst. Behaviour so normal to me, feeding into a core wound of familiarity, abuse and power. A young woman watching the clock tick away, wanting her life to be over, hour by hour. The final straw. After years of anguish, something deep inside of me suddenly snapped at my core. I will never forget that day, opening my hazy eyes, dazed, laying on the pavement floor, covered in a crimson red coat of my own blood dripping down my neck and shoulders, hurled to the ground, head split open, the curb, weapon of choice. My breasts exposed to passers-by and a saviour of a taximan who dialed 999. Police arrive while the perpetrator cries. Covered in my own blood, clothes ripped apart hanging off me, tears streaming down my cheek, palms trembling, reality spinning. Police split us apart as I sob and panic, yet I cannot imagine any kind of world or life without him in it. A twisted, sick love affair. Lies leave my mouth, protecting his freedom is the only choice in my mind. Inner dialogue getting louder, but he's told you only he will treat you lovingly and kind, especially the state that you are. Someone else who loves you will be impossible to find. Inner turmoil worsens, questions begin years later when I finally gain the strength to share, triggered by the same phrase often used towards abused women due to a lack of understanding, a subliminal glare. Why would you stay? When abuse is your normality, pain, suffering and belittlement become your nectar. Breaking free from this cycle took me detoxing from familiarity and unpacking its origins. Then, one day, the veil begins to lift. Countless therapy, survivors clinics, struggles with my internal dialogue, moments of intense pain that still persist. Grateful for this pain now as my perspective has hugely shifted. Realisation that I'm here for a reason and the awareness that life is a gift. Sometimes it takes pain to step into your own power. Thicker skin, wiser mind, deeper understanding of oneself. I am not what I have been through. I am and will forever be loved and important.
Thank you for watching. Seriously, it means the world to me and our guests that you took the time to watch. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it really does help the channel to grow. And equally, you won't miss what's coming next if you do that. The aim of this channel and what me and the guests are trying to do is we're trying to inspire, and we're also trying to give other people a sense of belonging. And at the very least, we're trying to make other people feel seen and heard. And that's our hope with this channel. If this video spoke to you anyway, then please do check out our other videos just here. We will catch you in the next episode.